Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. Yesterday I did a video of my 14 favorite epic rock songs that are over 14 minutes. It pretty much was all progressive rock tracks, even though I never used that word. Only one song wasn't. And one of my viewers said, hey, keep the ranking going. And I'm like, yeah, why not? So this was a pretty quick one for me to put together. I'm a really big Southern rock fan. I've mentioned that before. Love tons of different genres. Southern rock, I have a great feeling for as well. And I decided to do 14 of my favorite epic Southern rock songs. Ranked them number 1 to number 14. Now, of course, if you like Southern rock, you know that most Southern rock bands have like an epic song in their catalog. It's kind of a cliche, kind of something that a Southern rock band has to do, has to have that epic kind of track. Obviously, Freebird would be the one you're probably thinking of. But it's a lot of the Southern rock bands have that kind of a track. Let me rank them. Number 14 through number 1. One song per band. And these will be my favorites. Before I start doing it, little reminder, if you like my videos, please hit subscribe. Please hit like. Help my channel to grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. And please don't be afraid to send in your comments, whether you like my choices, you don't. Let me know your choices. Helps me with my channel, and it makes it more fun. So that's enough rapping. Let's get going. Number 14. One of the great things I love about Southern rock, all the bands, most of the bands, they really have distinct sounds. So Southern rock is a great genre to get into because the bands really do sound very different. Number 14 is Wet Willie, a band that I love. Wet Willie is a really soulful Southern rock band. Very much sometimes could almost be like Jay Giles, although they're more soul than Jay Giles is. But it's kind of similar. Great frontman, great band. And Wet Willie has 2 phenomenal live albums. They don't really have like that epic kind of a closing track. But for me, the closest would be on this live record, which is a live album called Left Coast Live, and they do like a 6-minute version of Keep On Smiling. It's a great track. You probably know it. It was close to a hit. If you want to experience Wet Willie, check out Keep On Smiling. Great track. Also, there's a great track called Street Corner Serenade, which I think should be on everybody's playlist. But Keep On Smiling would be my number 14. And it's really not an epic, but it's a great track, and they do it up well live. This is also a great, great live album called Drippin' Wet. Wet Willie at number 14. At number 13, another band that I really like. They never made it on the big time, but they did play around a lot on Long Island in the day, and also opened a lot for Marshall Tucker. A band called Grinderswitch, and this is just 2 of their albums. I know this one's kind of funny. You look at that Fast and Furious straight heterosexual guy, you're like, is that a big vagina on there? It's not. Some kind of horse thing. But 2 really good records. Pull them together, and this is one called Red Wing. And this is the one. They have a lot of really good tracks. This album had kind of a minor hit in a thing called You and Me. But the track that I would tell you to check out is the title track called Red Wing. And Red Wing, for me, would be, it's not an epic, really, but it's a great Grinderswitch track, and it kind of matches the cover art. It just flows really well. You almost feel like a bird flying. It's just great. Red Wing from Grinderswitch at number 13. Number 12, another really good band that never made it above that second level, band called Point Blank, and this is from their second album called Second Season. I guess there's a lot of glare there. But this is unusual. Now we're going to start getting a little bit epic. Number 4, song 4 on this album is called Stars and Scars. It's a really cool track. Most Southern rock bands kind of follow a pattern when they do that. Like a Freebird, it starts off almost acoustic-like, and then melodic, and then it builds into this massive jam. That's your typical kind of Southern rock epic track. This one's different. This one has beautiful acoustic throughout it, but instead of it building up with that a jam, it just keeps with that acoustic, but the band kicks in, and it is an extended track, but it flows really, really well, and I like the diversity. Instead of doing that standard kind of massive jam, and this band can do it. They don't do it on Stars and Scars, but it is still an epic track. If you've never heard Point Blank, check out Stars and Scars. It's a really, really good track, and I think you'll like it. If you love Southern rock, you'll definitely like it. That's my choice at number 12. At number 11 is another band that never really made it big, called Doc Holliday. This was their second album, called Doc Holliday Rides Again. They're a more rockin' Southern rock band. You know, Molly Hatchet kind of sound like them to a certain extent. They have a track on here called Lonesome Guitar. It was the last track on the album. That is your classic Southern rock. Starts off melodic, rockin', and then it kicks out the jams. And they are a really powerful band, almost metallic in a way. And if you crank it up like I crank it up with my Bose speakers, man, you think you're going to start bursting out in flames. It is a killer track. If you want to investigate Doc Holliday, check out my number 11 song, Lonesome Guitar, from Doc Holliday Rides Again. It's killer. This is a great CD. It's a label called Rock Candy, and they put out re-releases, they remaster and reissue these kind of lost classics with bonus tracks with big liner notes. Great release. Their debut album is really good too. Let's keep going. At number 10, a friend of mine was a really big fan of theirs, got me into them, and I really like them. Again, this is not your typical epic song at all, but Pure Prairie League, you know them probably from Amy, but they have a great rockin' tune. My favorite tune from them is their title track from their album called Two Lane Highway. This is from a double live record, side one, the last song, Two Lane Highway. It's it's the closest they get really to like balls out rockin', Southern rock style. Two Lane Highway, great track. Going my way, moving fast. Killer track. It's not an epic, but epic to me for Pure Prairie League. At number 10, Two Lane Highway, great track. At number 9, another band that never made it really big. Played some on Long Island in the day. The Winters Brothers Band. This is not Johnny and Edgar Winter. This is their own band called the Winters Brothers Band. This is their sole main album release. And there's a track on there that I think is extraordinarily great. It's called Sang Her Love Songs. It's 6.5 minutes long. Where it is. Number 3 on this album. Check out Sang Her Love Songs. Yeah. Is it epic? It's epic for the Winters Brothers bands. It's melodic. It's catchy as hell. The first time you hear it, you're going to really like it. And they jam out on it as well. Really tasteful jamming. Not overbearing. They do it perfect. It's a great lost Southern rock classic. Sang Her Love Songs. That is number 9 for me on epic Southern rock songs. Number 8. We start getting into some more stuff that you would probably know for sure. A classic epic Southern rock song, one of the best. For me, it's number 8, is Blackfoot, their album called Strikes. And you can't not love Highway Song. It's a highway song. Classic, what we're talking about. Melodic opening, powerful but melodic, and then gets into that heavy Southern rock jamming. It just rocks, 7 minutes, give or take. Killer track, an all-time legendary Southern rock classic from Blackfoot, Highway Song. That is number 7. And number 6 is a great, one of the big Southern rock bands was the Marshall Tucker Band. They're more jazzy kind of Southern rock band. They only had one drummer, Paul Riddle, great jazzy type drummer, flute, all over the place. Really tasteful band. They made it big. Played the biggest arenas on Long Island, seen them a bunch of times for sure. Now, they have a bunch of different epic songs. They used to close most of their shows. They have a ton of live records, and this made one of my all-time favorite live albums. You know, you get like 24 hours at a time and Ramblin'. These are like epic tracks, but they're nowhere near my favorite Marshall Tucker songs. Live, they're a killer band. But you'll always see, on here it's track number 3. Here's live in the UK from 1976, track number 2, and the lead-off track of their debut album. We're talking Take the Highway, a phenomenal song, Take the Highway, Lord, Lord, Lord. It just rocks, it's soulful, it's jazzy but rockin', and goes right into a flute solo. Guitar solos, it's a killer track. I love Take the Highway. That would be my favorite Epic track from the Marshall Tucker Band. Of course, you're probably going to say, what about Can't You See? Can't You See is an all-time classic. Certainly their most famous song. But for me, you really want to get me going, put Take the Highway on. That is number 6. At number 5, one of the greatest songs of all time, for sure, is the Allman Brothers. And they have lots and lots of epic songs all over the place, for God's sakes. But for me, there's nothing more epic. Here's the live at the Fillmore East, and the final track on the original album right there is 23 minutes of it, which is a lot. Whipping Post. Who can't think of the opening bass lick from Barry Oakley? Dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 da. And then you got J-Mo and Butch Trucks coming in with that great jazzy kind of drum lick that they do. And then Greg Allman's vocals are just incredible. But you don't need to hear a 22-minute live version. Just go to their debut album. Here's a compilation of their first 2 albums. There it is, Whippin' Post, 5 minutes and 16 seconds. That's all you need. One of the greatest songs in the history of rock and roll, and certainly in the history of Southern rock. Whippin' Post from the Allman Brothers Band at number 5. At number 4, that little old record right there. One of the greatest Southern rock albums of all time. Kind of lost in history. The Henry Paul Band. Who the hell's Henry Paul? Well, he was from the Outlaws. Did his own band. I saw them live opening up. This is a damn near perfect album. This album is incredible. Every song on it is great. It should be like a #1 smash hit legendary album. But the title track, Gray Ghost, is one of the all-time great epic Southern rock songs. If you don't know it, you need to hear it now. It's a classic. Follows a theme that you've heard before. Gray Ghost, Southern rock people that passed away like Ronnie Van Zant. But it's an amazing track, melodic, classic, into the jamming. It's perfect. Gray Ghost from the Henry Paul Band, the title track of this amazing album. You may also know So Long and Crossfire. It's an amazing album. But Gray Ghost, woo! So great that it's my number 4. At number 3, Molly Hatchet. You're like, really? Molly Hatchet? Yeah. Molly Hatchet, their first 2 albums, the debut and Flirting with Disaster, oh my God, are just amazing albums. A killer Southern rock band. They went heavy, sometimes borderline almost hard rock with Southern rock. Great frontman with Danny Joe Brown. Great band, kind of like a harder version of Skynyrd. And I think it's from their 3rd album. Here it's from, or their 4th album, actually. You'll find it on any kind of collection, greatest hits. There's an amazing version on the Double Trouble live album. We're talking about Fall of the Peacemakers, number 12. Again, that classic kind of Southern rock thing starts off melodic and almost acoustic-like and builds up to the amazing jam, 8 minutes and 7 seconds long. Fall of the Peacemakers, I could hear that song anytime, any place, and I will instantly fall in love with it. It's an incredible piece of work. If you are not a fan of Molly Hatchet, check out Fall of the Peacemakers. If you don't like that, give it up. You're just not a fan of Southern rock. That's my number 3 of all-time epic Southern rock songs. Number 2, well, we're going to pick up this... Did I finish something? Oh, I think I missed one. We'll go back to it. Number 2, you're thinking Lynyrd Skynyrd, One More from the Road, one of the greatest live albums of all time. Here's a deluxe edition of it. And you're thinking Freebird. Well, no denying Freebird is one of the greatest songs of all time. Unfortunately for me, I never want to hear it again. Not because it's not great. It kind of falls into that Won't Get Fooled Again, Baba O'Reilly Satisfaction kind of thing. Yeah, it's just overplayed and I don't ever need to hear it. I used to be in a band in the 70s and 80s and 90s, 80s and 90s. I used to play in bar bands, and 2 of the bands I was in, we always played Freebird. And I was like, oh, God, do I have to play that again? But the songs that I'm talking about on this album is Simple Man. It's 6 minutes, 56 seconds long. It's one of the greatest tracks of all time by any band. It's certainly one of the greatest band. by Lynyrd Skynyrd, greatest song. Simple Man is just an incredible track. I melt when I listen to it. It's just great. Powerful. Everything about it. It's perfect. That's going to be my number 2 favorite not hard rock, epic song from Southern Rock, Simple Man. I forgot one before I get to my number 1. It was actually number 7, between Take the Highway and Highway Song. It's from the Outlaws. Now, here's their legendary live album, and you're thinking it's going to be Greengrass and High Tides. And if it was, it'd be nothing to be ashamed of, because it's an epic Southern rock classic, and certainly their most famous Southern rock classic. But for me, the one that I would go to, here's a later live album, and I like what they did here, because I agree with them now. There's Greengrass and High Tides, but they follow it with Ghost Riders in the Sky, and that would be my choice. Ghost Riders in the Sky is a latter-day epic that the Outlaws did. It's monstrous. Ghost Riders in the Sky is just perfect. Of course, it's a legendary song, and they covered it, but they own that song as far as I'm concerned now. They rocked it up royally. So for me, that would have been a number 7. Ghost Riders in the Sky from the Outlaws. Of course, you can't go wrong with Greengrass and High Tides as well. So what's my number 1 epic favorite Southern rock song? You're not going to guess it, but if you watched my all-time favorite albums, way up there was Fire in the Mountain from the Charlie Daniels Band, and I have mentioned it before. The original Charlie Daniels Band is one of my favorite bands. Kind of like Genesis, I got into them really, really early, like 73. Way Down Yonder, an album that nobody knows, and T. John Grease and Wolfman, and Fire in the Mountain, I got when it came out. And their run from Way Down Yonder through Fire in the Mountain, Night Rider, High Lonesome, Saddle Tramp, Million Mile Reflections is one of the greatest runs, I think, of any band of all time. And make no mistake, the Charlie Daniels Band is a rock and roll band, not a Southern country band that they kind of later became, possibly. Anyway, long story short, my number 1 epic track of all time Southern rock is the title track from Saddle Tramp. It's a terrible cover. I can't stand this cover. But this is an amazing album. It's up there with Fire in the Mountain. It is a damn near perfect album. It's incredible. And the title track, Saddle Tramp, is a 10-minute epic. It starts with this beautiful guitar. It may be a 12-string, I'm not sure. Well, you pass around the pipe and you all get high. Did you ever stop to wonder why? Saddle Tramp, how many people watch you? It's just a beautiful melodic track. The whole band plays. You got beautiful piano work from Taz Di Gregorio. In this song, over 10 minutes, you get everything. You get a jam in the middle that is so amazing, off the chart. With the bass players. Charlie Daniels Band at that time had double drums, like the Allman Brothers. They all over the place. In fact, they do a drum solo in the middle of it, which is great. And then it kicks back into this jamming riff and ends really powerful. You probably don't know the song Saddle Tramp unless you're a big Charlie Daniels Band fan. If you like Southern rock, check out Saddle Tramp. It is my number 1 epic Southern rock song of all time. So what were they again? They did them out of order. Number 14 was Keep On Smiling from Wet Willie. Number 13, Red Wing from Grinderswitch. Number 12, Stars and Scars from Point Blank. Doc Holliday with Lonesome Guitar at number 11. At number 10, Pure Prairie League, Two Lane Highway. Number 9, the Winters Brothers Band with Sanger Love Songs. Number 8, Highway Song from Blackfoot. Number 7, there's the Outlaws, Ghost Riders in the Sky. Number 6, the Marshall Tucker Band with Take the Highway. Number 5, the Allman Brothers, Whippin' Post. Number 4, Henry Paul Band, Grey Ghost. Number 3, Molly Hatchet, Fall of the Peacemakers. Number 2, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Simple Man. Number 1, the Charlie Daniels Band with Saddle Tramp. There's my pick of my 14 all-time favorite epic Southern rock bands, Southern rock songs, from a big fan of Southern rock. There's a great Allman Brothers shirt that I'm wearing right now. Every time I wear this, people come up to me and are like, in fact, one person wanted to buy it off my back. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit subscribe. Please hit thanks. Send me some comments. Let me know your favorite Southern rock epic tracks. And let me know what you think. Stay safe. Stay healthy out there. Keep rocking. I will see you on the next video. And thanks for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great night.